Welcome to today's urgent briefing. We're cutting through all the noise to focus on three huge stories that have a direct impact on your money, your nation's borders, and frankly, the risk of a new global conflict. So let's get right into it.
First up, we're going to break down a number that hits millions of American wallets. We're talking about a so-called raise that, well, it might not be what it seems at all. Then we're going to take a look at what some are calling a new digital wall going up at the U.S. border. We'll explore what this new level of surveillance means for people trying to immigrate the legal way.
And finally, we have some breaking news, a sudden military escalation in South America that has some really serious global implications.
Okay, so let's dive into this first story. It's one that really hits close to home for so many retirees and their families. So let's start with this number, 2.8%. Now, that is the official 2026 Social Security Cost of Living Adjustment, or COLA. You know, on paper, it's supposed to be a raise to help your benefits keep up with inflation. But once you start looking a little closer, that raise begins to vanish. And here is the reality of it. After all the headlines, after all the official announcements, this is what the average retiree will actually see, $32. That's the real increase in spending power they'll have in their pocket each month.
That really is the billion-dollar question, isn't it? Well, the gap between the official raise and what you actually get to keep comes down to this really frustrating concept that financial analysts are calling the Medicare trap.
And it's a painfully simple calculation. For the average person, that 2.8% raise comes out to about $50. But then, an $18 increase in your Medicare Part B premium gets automatically pulled out. And that leaves you with a net gain of just $32. It is a classic case of one hand giving while the other just takes it right back.
I mean, look at it this way. Over a third, a full 35% of your cost of living adjustment is gone before you can even touch it. It goes straight to Medicare. And that's exactly why for so many people, this raise just doesn't feel like a raise at all.
So what's the big disconnect here? Well, the government's formula for inflation, the CPIW, is based on how working-age people spend their money. But see, seniors spend a much bigger chunk of their income on things like healthcare, housing, and food. And those are the exact categories where prices have absolutely soared. For them, the real inflation rate feels a whole lot higher than 2.8%.
All right, so while seniors are feeling that financial squeeze, the government is applying a whole different kind of pressure at the border. Let's take a look at a major new initiative that's targeting legal immigration.
This is the government's official answer to what they say is a growing problem. This whole thing, Operation Twin Shield, it's all about using advanced technology and way more scrutiny to tackle visa misuse and, in their words, identify potential threats.
Now, the government's entire rationale is built on some pretty big numbers. For instance, just this year alone, this is how many people were flagged and then referred to ICE for a full investigation.
And that collaboration between USCIS and ICE led directly to this many arrests, often happening right inside U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services offices.
And here's the real kicker. Out of all those arrests, this is the number that were either confirmed or suspected national security threats. This figure, right here, is the core justification the government is using for this massive crackdown.
So you might be wondering, who's actually affected by all this? Well, the impact of this intense new scrutiny is being felt across pretty much all the key immigration pathways. Work permits are being issued for shorter periods. There's a new rule for H-1B visas that's going to prioritize higher income applicants. Even family-based visas are facing more scrutiny. And for some groups, asylum processing has just been stopped altogether.
Okay, now we're going to turn to the global stage, where a conflict that's been simmering for a long time has just suddenly and violently erupted.
This is the breaking news that's just coming in. We're getting reports of massive explosions at military bases across the capital city, Caracas. And in a really dramatic announcement, the American president has confirmed that President Maduro has been taken into custody.
I mean, this whole situation has moved with alarming speed. It all started with sanctions enforcement. You might remember the recent seizure of that vessel off the coast. Now it has escalated all the way to direct military action. And honestly, the world is just holding its breath.
And you can already see the international lines being drawn, and fast. Russia and Iran have immediately condemned the U.S. strike. Meanwhile, the United Nations is scrambling to hold an emergency meeting. The stakes for a much wider conflict have just been raised dramatically.
So let's recap. We've covered this immense pressure on your wallet, a new kind of digital wall at the nation's borders, and now the very real possibility of war.
So we have to ask, which of these stories has you most concerned? Is it that quiet financial squeeze that's happening right here at home? Is it the new security apparatus that's changing the face of legal immigration? Or is it the sudden threat of a new global conflict erupting?
Let us know which one you find most concerning down in the comments. And hey, hit that subscribe button for daily updates. Like this video if you want more weekly recaps, and please share this with a friend who needs to know the truth. Stay informed and stay safe.